Today's video is brought to you by OneFootball. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video, and make sure that you go over in the top link of the description and download their app. It is fantastic, people. I didn't know there were so many countries, so many leagues for you to go and view information from. Latest news, latest transfers. You can also see all the latest updates and live scores when your team is playing. Yes, you can choose your preferred team. So for my team, it's Liverpool. You can see all the latest information on them. But not only that, people, it doesn't only go that far. You can go and see anything to do with teams in the Premier League, anything to do with teams in the Champions League, Europa League, any team across Europe, any team across the world. You can go and have a look and see how they're doing in their leagues and any news based on what their team is going through. Make sure that you download the OneFootball app, people. It is fantastic. And obviously, I want to thank them once more for supporting this channel. Make sure you go and support them because they support us massively. One massive big shout out to OneFootball again. And yeah, top link in the description, people. Thank you very much. So hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a preview for the United game that takes place tomorrow. Obviously, it's a big game and I'll tell you why it's a big game. It's not a big game in a sense that I've been saying for every single Premier League game, oh this is a big game, because obviously every game's becoming bigger now with the recent results that we've been getting. But let me tell you why that this is a big game, and I'll obviously get into me lineup prediction and me, all of that in a bit. But one thing that I wanted to address first is this is a big game because it's Manchester United, and we know that already. But another reason is because if we can actually win this game against a team that's in form like them, and they're in some fantastic form, then it might, and I'm saying might because I know that I'm kind of just hoping for miracles in this bitch, but let's just try and go with these hopes and these mights while we can. If we do beat them, we might be able to build a little bit of momentum off it. Maybe I'm wrong, and listen, that's absolutely fine if I am. And I also don't know the approach that Jurgen Klopp is going to take. I still think he might go strong in this game. Like I said, I'll go more onto the lineup in a bit, but I still think he will go strong. And yeah, it's just going to be a difficult game, as it probably was at Anfield. I mean, I don't think it makes a difference whether it's at Anfield or at Old Trafford. Obviously, this one's at Old Trafford, but you can't just say, oh, maybe it's better for us. Maybe it'll be worse. Our away form's been terrible this season. Man United's away form's been better than the home form, but still, I don't really think that's something to look into. Obviously, you've got to question how will United approach this game, but one thing that you need to take into consideration before talking about the game is their squad depth. Their squad depth is better than ours, and they haven't got no injuries to worry about, at least not many from my knowledge. Maybe some news has came out by the time this video gets posted, but overall I don't know too much about injuries within their squad. But one thing I do want to address before I continue with the preview and the threats of United and whatnot, my most recent video that I've done based on FSG, and basically what I said in the video, for those who haven't watched it, is I am not FSG out right now. I'm not, because obviously they've done great things for the club and it would be a bit too reactionary, which is a word a lot of people use to watch the video, if I was that, because just one bad run of form, you can't just start saying FSG out. But one thing that I did say, and I think this is where a lot of people seem to twist things here on YouTube, and that's fine because I know that's what happens, but allow me to correct you. Basically what I was trying to say is, if I don't see investment in January and furthermore the summer, then I am FSG out, because we never invested much last summer. At least, we never invested more than what we sold, so that doesn't show the board is actually investing their own money into the club. Obviously the training grounds and many other things, I am aware of a lot of things that's done, stadium expansion over the years, but you do need to focus on squad and on the pitch as well. And even though these things will benefit us long term, and you've got to think about long term, of course, and that will be forever be remembered by FSG. And I know you can't sack the board, but you're still allowed to talk about whether you want them in or not as a fan. And I'm only saying, if they don't invest into our squad, which is the number one thing, then maybe you just might need to consider it, because it takes a lot to stay on top. And I've said millions of times what type of player I want us to bring in. I don't want a world-class striker in Mbappe or Haaland. I'm saying just get me a centre-back for now, and I'm happy with that. You shouldn't go into a season with 3 senior centre-backs. One of them's injured, by the way. So I've said this argument loads of times, so I don't want to go too much into it, but I just want to correct people on what I mean by that. Anyway, Manchester United threats on who we'll have to watch out for tomorrow. Let me just name a few. Rashford, even though he's not great and in form every single game, it only takes a moment, and maybe defensively, overall, we've been okay, but, you still need to be aware of a few individuals, i.e. Trent Alexander-Arnold, or even Nico, if he starts, or Milner, if he starts, because Rashford will have that edge of pace, he'll have that edge of confidence, because his team's been winning. So you've got to watch out for him, you've got to watch out for Martial, you've got to watch out for Bruno Fernandes, because obviously, even though he hasn't played too well recently, in terms of the full 90 minutes, but he gets them big moments, which is why you've got to watch out for him as well. Paul Pogba, another player, he's actually playing well and getting the big moments. In fact, the most crucial moments for Manchester United right now. So we have got to watch out for their squad. Even a few little mad shouts like Cavani, Greenwood, these type of players. Listen, mate, whether they're starting or coming off the bench, it's a good option to have. So I feel like the favourites of this game should be United. Going into the Anfield game, Liverpool was still the favourites, even with bad form. But, you see the way we've performed against United before. We controlled the game. But, that was our first team, and we never really created too many crazy chances. A draw was probably what we deserved. So I think it'd be kind of hard to say it's going to just be a same tale in this game. But let me go into my starting 11 prediction and who I think's going to start the game and whatnot. Sorry, I've just moved my camera again. I always do that, man. Yeah, there we go. I shouldn't be. Oh, I've done it, moved it all the way. I'm not good at this YouTube thing, people. And this won't be cut out either. This is going to stay in the video because why not? You know what I mean? Do you know one thing that also needs to be cut out? Everything about this trim. It's disgraceful. Honestly, mate, I'm getting a barber though soon. Hopefully so. But we pray for the best, but we probably get the worst. You know what I mean? Anyway. Starting 11 prediction, 4-3-3. Maybe a 4-2-3-1, but I'll go with the 4-3-3 just because it is what it is. It's an FA Cup game. I don't want to overanalyse the situation in terms of what we should do, purely based on the fact I don't know how United will approach this game. So, because I don't know their clear ambition. Are they going for the FA Cup? Are they going for just the league? I don't know. So, I'm going to say, it doesn't surprise me if Kelleher starts, but I'm going a mixture of what I think will start and what I want Klopp to start, and I want to see Alisson. It's the goalkeeper position. United will most likely get a big chance or two in the game where we will need to rely on our goalkeeper. And even though Kelleher has been a sensational little keeper in between them sticks, and he's been sensational. Listen, mate, Irish Iker Casillas in his prime, my friend, yeah? And that's a fact. He's been boss. Go and watch his recent performances. But if it gets to that big game-saving moment, who do you trust more, Alisson or Kelleher? Alisson for me. So, left back, I know a lot of people are going to say Robbo, but I do still think, even though I really want to go for the FA Cup, and that's something to touch on, do you want to go for the FA Cup this year? I do, purely based on the fact that even though we are still in the title race, it's just looking bleaker and bleaker each week, and with the fact we're not likely to get a new centre-back, which means many things, we're going to have to keep playing Fabinho centre-back, which doesn't mean he can play in the midfield, therefore disrupting the attack of the team because we haven't got our proper spine, all these type of things. I feel like he needs a proper back four, a stable back four that plays week in, week out, and we just don't have that if you want to win the league. That's why I'm doubting it now. Obviously, if we get a centre-back, that changes. That being said, even though I want to win this and proper go for the Champions League, because they're just more one-off games and whatnot, I still want to go for the FA Cup. Doesn't mean I'm keeping me one eye off the league. I've still got one eye on that, but it's just because that's over a longer period of time. Anyway, you get my point. Left back, I'm going with Shimikas. Still want to start a good squad, but we still need to give certain players minutes, and more importantly, certain players rest. So Robertson to rest and Shimikas to play. Right back. Now, some people will throw in Nico. I'm going to say for right back, it wouldn't surprise me if a Nico or a James Milner starts. And this probably contradicts what I've just said about Robbo and whatnot, but I'm going to say Trent. Just because, do you know what, mate? I've seen better performances from Trent. Not performances as of last year or, performances that you look at and say, do you know what? That's a class performance, that. But I've seen better performances in the sense Liverpool are trying to play through Trent right now. He had the most crosses I think he completed the most. No, sorry, he attempted the most crosses in the most recent game that we've just had, and none of them were completed, but he was attempting them. It was just no one was getting on the end. I think we're trying to play through Trent, so I think that's who Klopp will go with. I'm not going to lie to you, and I think I'll probably prefer him because, like I said, he's been getting slightly better, and maybe he just needs to get confidence a little bit in his form, because even though before I was saying if he keeps playing bad like this, listen, start a Nico Williams, start a Milner, I meant that, and I still do if he has shocking performances. But over the past 2 games, I felt they've got better. It's not just kept going like this. It's like gone like this, and then it's steadied out a little bit, and it's slightly going back up. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. So Trent right back. Centre-backs. Now, this is an interesting one. Do we include a Nat Phillips or a Reece Williams? Because I don't think you do both. Will Fabinho start is a massive question. Or do you rest him? Hendo, obviously there's news on whether he'll be available for this game. Matip, you know, he can barely play 3 games in a week. So I'm going to say, at the back, doesn't surprise me if he goes with Reece Williams and Fabinho. Now, if I could choose what I want, I'm probably saying Matip and Fabinho, because even though you need to give them a rest, we've got no one else. Do you see why we need a centre-back? We've got Champions League games coming as well, by the way. It's not like over the December and January periods where we've had just Premier League games. Soon we're going to have more. So, we need to think about this, and that's why I think we'll go with either one. Either way, our 2 best available centre-backs right now in Joel Matip or Fabinho, one of them will start, and then one of Nat Phillips or Reece Williams will start, in my opinion. Then moving further forward, I'm going to say you need to give Thiago a rest, in my opinion. And do you know one thing that I want to just kind of touch on Thiago? Let me know if you agree or disagree, but I think we're trying to give the ball to him a bit too much. Like, we see these passing stats and, you know, passes completed and, you know, percentages and all that. And it's boss and, you know, my number 6, you know, the dance. But are we passing it to him a little bit too much? Where it's kind of neutralising our game and it's not being as open or as expansive. I'm not saying that's Thiago's fault, but as our players majorly in awe of how good Thiago is and just think, yeah, I'll just pass it to him. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he'll probably be rested. Maybe this is a game for Curtis Jones to come back in. I'm still not sure on the availability of Naby Keita. If he was fit, he plays, but I think the midfield will be... Actually, wait. Do you know what I'm going to say? Even though he played midweek, I'm going to say Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita. And to be fair, even though I've just said what I've said about Thiago, I think he will play based on the fact we're going to rotate the other 2 midfielders. And we don't have a Hendo available from my knowledge. We don't have a Naby available from my knowledge. I think we should give Gini a rest. And the manager will probably be thinking, I want to give Thiago more minutes. He's just came back. So that's my midfield 3. Thiago, Curtis Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain. The front 3. In fact, I'm going to replace Oxlade-Chamberlain with Shaqiri. Because this, and you'll see why now. The front 3, Mohamed Salah on the right, because bear in mind he was rested at the start of the last game, so maybe that was one eye on this game for Jurgen Klopp. On the left, I could see Salah, this is what I'm saying, I'm going to say Salah on the right, Firmino in the middle because he never played, and Minamino on the left. Even though that's not his position, I can see it being something like that, or put Shaqiri on the left, Minamino in the 8th, but Minamino gets in there somewhere. I don't see Origi starting this game. Maybe I'm wrong. For FA Cup games and League Cup games, it's always difficult to decide, but that's my starting 11 prediction. I think that team's good enough to win the game, but let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know, you know, your thoughts and whatnot on the team that I've given you. But as for the score prediction, see, I'm not confident, and expressions knock some sense into my head. I'm not confident based on form, but I do know bad form doesn't last forever, and even though these players may not be as good as what they was last year or the year before, because I don't think last year's team was as good as the team the season before. I do think it's going down, but they can't have dropped that much to the point where these results that we've saw over the last 5 or 6 games continue to the end of the season into next season. They can't be that bad, surely. Touch wood. You know what I mean? Touch wood, but I think soon we will start seeing them going into form, so I'm going to be optimistic rather than pessimistic or whatever the friggin' word is. So I'm going to say Liverpool 1, Man United 0. Not based off form, based off optimism. Don't know why. I said we were going to draw to Burnley, but I'm just not going to say that we're going to lose to United, man. Not got it in me. Even though I am slightly concerned because I don't want to lose to them in any competition. I don't care if it's a friendly. But I'm going to say Liverpool 1. Manchester United 0, and let's hope we get that. Anyway, people, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all in a bit. Peace out.